Hey there, MTG Tribe. Darren Wagner here with urgent market intel that could save your portfolio. Remember our recent video where we discussed the Nasdaq at a critical 50-day MA crossroads? Well, that crossroads has resolved to the downside, and September has kicked off with a stunning 3% loss in QQQ. This is not just another pullback. We've identified 3 critical technical reasons why the Nasdaq 100 is now on a sell signal. Reasons that could make or break your trades in the coming weeks. Our veteran analyst, Rick Petticelli, with over 20 years of trading experience, is here to break down these signals and what they mean for your trading strategy. Plus, stay tuned to the end for our exclusive actionable strategies on how to navigate this new market landscape. If you're ready to stay ahead of the market and protect your portfolio, hit that like button and subscribe now. Let's dive into the charts and decode this crucial market shift.
Thank you, Darren, for the introduction. So let's get to the charts. In our last video, we discussed the QQQ needing to hold the 20-day EMA after a sharp rally off the lows and a push through the 50-day MA. Now, our last video was on August 22nd after the Qs printed this ugly distribution day at the highs, this bearish engulfing day. So what we were looking for over the next week or two was the price action to hold the 20-day EMA, avoid distribution, chop around, digest the recent advance, and then push higher. That hasn't played out, and it's done just the opposite with the price action breaking down below the 20-day EMA, which is a sell signal in our timing model. And the reason why we use the 20-day EMA break as a sell signal is that we're swing traders, and once the price action is below the 20 EMA on the daily chart, we know that the odds increase for more chop, more sideways to lower price action, and that's the opposite of what we're looking for. In our trades, we're looking for higher highs and lower lows above the 20-day EMA, with the price action always making progress. If we sit in a stock that's below the 20-day EMA, we'd have to have a really big profit buffer, but we're basically looking at something we're going to have to be a lot more patient with and be willing to give back gains. So that's simply applied to an ETF or a broad market average here. So with QQQ losing the 20-day EMA in the short term, we can expect more volatility, possibly a sell-off to the 200 EMA. We don't know. Anything is possible when the price action is below the 20 EMA and also below the 50 EMA. So the Nasdaq's lost 2 critical support levels. So in this video, we're discussing 3 reasons why the QQQ is on a sell signal. So the first reason is due to the break of the 20-period EMA on the daily chart. The second is the bearish volume pattern that has developed over the past 2 weeks. And volume is very important to what we do in our trading system, as it shows us where the institutions are moving. Although we prefer to use total volume on the Nasdaq when looking at volume, we can use QQQ volume here in this example. It's pretty much the same volume profile anyways over the past few weeks. So we have one distribution day up here on the 22nd, another higher volume down day on the 28th, a second in a row on the 29th, and then once again here on the 3rd on Tuesday. So that's 3 in the past 4 sessions. That's distribution clustering, which is a bad sign. And that's 4 over 8 days. So that's just a ton of distribution coming right after a follow-through buy signal on 8/13. So that is reason number 2. We have a bearish volume pattern in the QQQ. And the third reason why we're on a sell signal is the overall lack of oomph and new breakouts in leadership stocks. Simply put, the stocks that are leading the market higher, there hasn't been much follow through and breakouts lately, and that makes sense given that the Nasdaq's been in pullback mode for 2 weeks. But stocks like FRPT that have shown some relative strength attempted one breakout last Friday, pulled back in, attempted to break out once again, held back by the market. SG led the market higher initially, pulled back to the 50-day MA, gapped up above the 20 and 50 MAs and the 100 MA, pulled back, pushed higher, then 2 false breakout attempts, now pulling back to the 50. And not all breakouts have failed. Kava gapped that following earnings and After a pretty big run up here over a few weeks, up about 75%, for it to go sideways is fine. So the Kava's been really strong, and this is one we'll continue to monitor over the next week or two. Another example, Meta, false breakout, pullback, which is fine, but the pullback to the 20 found a bit of support, tried to go higher, stalled, tried to reverse on last Friday, and then reversed back down again. So unable to get back above the 8-day EMA since losing the 8 on the 26th of last month. So PLTR is another one. It broke out, followed through, and pulled back to the 20-day EMA, which is fine. Reversed off the 20, bounced higher, couldn't get going on the 29th, sideways on the 30th, and then yesterday right back down to the 20. And overall, PLTR is in decent shape. It just didn't take off, and probably that's more due to the market. So we can assume it just maybe needs to go sideways a bit more. Again, this is another stock to keep an eye on for a possible downtrend line break, or even if the price were to pull back in, undercut, say this 29 area, bounce off the 50, and then potentially break this downtrend line, or if it were to just continue to chop around above 29.60 and then work its way higher. So that's another stock to look out for during the next few weeks. But overall, we're just not seeing a lot of power on breakouts, and we've seen some lethargic action over the past few days, which makes sense after today's move in the market. So we have the sell signal in place. We have the three reasons why. We have the break of the 20-day EMA, the bearish volume pattern, and then lack of follow through and leading stocks. But don't go anywhere just yet. Stick around, because next we'll reveal key support and resistance levels that could help you determine QQQ's next short-term move and help you plan your trades. But first, a quick word on how to stay ahead in this market. Do you want to navigate this volatile market like a pro? The Wagner Daily Pro delivers expert analysis and actionable trade plans daily. Don't let market uncertainty catch you off guard. Visit MorpheusTrading.com, press stock picks, and join the MTG Tribe now. So back to the charts. So what to do next? Well, with the sell signal in place, we're more in a defensive mode. We're either tightening up stops on positions if there's any profit buffer. And for those stocks with little to no profit buffer, we probably want to exit those positions and just look to re-enter once market conditions settle. After Wednesday's sell-off, even if there is a bounce up, it's going to have to deal with resistance from the 8, 20, and the 50 MAs. But say it's able to reverse higher and then stay above the 100-day MA here. Maybe it chops around for a week, tests this low here, and then pushes through this downtrend line. Then that could be something to hang our hat on. Maybe that could generate some decent buy setups and leading stocks. So just some sideways price action above the 100, and then a downtrend line break is something to watch for. However, if the price action continues to sell off and there's a test of the 200-day MA, that could lead to some ugly price action in leading stocks and likely require a ton more patience on our part as we wait for new setups to emerge. Now, some traders might ask about, well, what about the short side? Well, in this type of market, we're less than, about 4% from a rising 200-day MA with support from prior lows in this area. We're really not interested in the short side of the market right here. So we'll use this time to lay low and, again, keep an eye on some of those leading stocks we posted a few minutes ago and see how they develop, what shows relative strength, what's able to hold above the 50-day MA while QQQ is below the 50 and testing either the 100 or 200 MA. So again, the sell signal just means for us to become more defensive and want to avoid adding new exposure. At the very least, tighten up those stops and let's see what the market does over the next few days and go from there. If you missed our previous QQQ analysis, make sure to check out that video displayed on your screen right now. It provides valuable context for today's update. Don't forget to comment below with your thoughts on the Nasdaq 100's recent action. Remember, in trading, the learning never stops. Keep pushing, keep growing, and always trade with confidence. Until next time, trade what you see, not what you think.